Okay, so when you want to close up your jugs, there's a couple ways you can do it. I'm going to show you the way I do it. It's kind of the way you see lots of people talk about doing it. And then I'm going to show you another method that I'm not real sure about. And this is the first time I'm going to try it and see if it works. But I wanted to show you, you could try it and see if it works for you. The best way, in my opinion, is just to use duct tape. Duct tape all the way around your jug. You want to make sure you seal up that opening, because you don't want cold air to settle down in your jug. That is more of a concern for me because it's not uncommon for us to get really hard late frosts. Snow in April is not unusual. And so if I know that snow is coming, it's not a big deal because the snow covers this and it kind of protects it from that really hard frost. But if I know a really hard frost is coming and my plants have already sprouted, all I do is I take a blanket and I just lay it over all of my jugs. And so it's not a big deal. This gives them a little bit of extra cold protection to keep that sealed all the way around. Now, I just saw the other day on YouTube a guy who does all of his jugs like this. All he does is he takes a twist tie here, a twist tie here, and a twist tie here. He makes holes in the top and the bottom and just twist ties them together, basically just to hold it. There's lots of gap, at least there is in mine. I don't know how carefully he lines his up. I'm a little concerned that too much cold air is going to get in there. We're going to try it with one jug. That's another option. Now, I will admit, duct tape is kind of a pain in the neck. So that's probably why he doesn't want to do it, because it is kind of a pain. So let me show you how you do it, just because hopefully my little tips will make it easier for you. So what you want to do when you're doing your duct tape, I find this is the easiest way. I will take a little piece of tape and just stick it on the front here, just to kind of hold it in place. See, even that didn't want to stay. Just to kind of hold it in place. And then I'm going to take 2 strips. And my duct tape happens to be royal blue. Yours does not have to be. One like that. Once you have that duct tape on there nice and evenly, you might want to keep an eye on it throughout the season. In the early spring, sometimes it'll kind of start getting dry and it might come a little bit loose. Just make sure that it's fairly, it's holding your jug and it's kind of covering up that hole. Don't forget to mark your jugs, what's in them. So many times, especially if you're planting like several types of squash, when the squash comes up, it's like, ooh, is that cantaloupe or is that watermelon or cucumber or whatever? So what I do is I put something inside my jug before I tape it up. I'll put it inside my jug, and then I also will mark on the outside of the jug. I use a Sharpie marker almost always. The stuff on the outside fades and it's just gone. That's why don't forget to put whatever you're going to put inside your jug. Now, I just so happen to have this huge box of these are craft sticks, popsicle sticks. So that's what I'm going to do. I just write with a Sharpie marker on this. I put it inside my jug and then I tape it up, and then I'm going to write on the outside of the jug also. I don't know why I bother doing it because it never stays. But I am going to get some paint markers. I read that paint markers don't fade, and so today I'm just going to mark it with a Sharpie because I don't have any paint markers. Once your jugs are all put together, you do not put the lid on. Leave the lid off. You're going to just set this out in the garden and you're going to wait, and it's going to sprout when it's ready to sprout. When the temperature inside that jug is warm enough for that particular seed, it's going to know, okay, it's time, and it's going to start growing. The greenhouse effect will protect it. While it's still a little bit cool out here, it's going to be protected inside of this jug. Now, for the most part, you don't have to do anything with it. If it rains, a little bit of water is going to go in there and it's going to keep it nice and moist. If it snows, it's going to get all protected. It's going to get covered. And you've got holes in the bottom. Don't forget that, because if it gets too much water in there and there's no drainage, it'll freeze, and then that's not good for your seeds. If we have a really hard late frost, I will sometimes go out and just throw a blanket over my jugs. Not very often I have to do that, but on occasion. When I put these in the gardens, I just have one area and I just stack all of my jugs together, just next to each other. And that way it's easy to just throw a blanket over the whole thing. Hey there, so I wanted to give a little update on the jug that I planted with just the twist ties. If you remember, I've always done my jugs with duct tape, and I saw this idea to just use twist ties. So I thought I would try it with one jug. Well, I can already tell it's not going to work. So let me show you. I just came out in my garden to dig up some dirt and get some lettuce planted. It's really early in the season. None of this is ready to sprout yet. But I just came over to just look at it, and let me show you what I found. Okay, so here's my jugs, and you'll see on these jugs, you see all this condensation on here? Well, this is the one that I did not put the twist ties on, and you'll notice there's no condensation. If I looked down through the top, and you're probably not going to be able to tell through the camera, but that dirt is dry, this dirt is nice and moist. So I'm not going to stick with my test. I'm going to tape that up because I tell you what, I want some onions this year. So I just thought I would update you on that, and I don't suggest that method. It seems to work for that other gentleman very well. Maybe he gets lots and lots of rain. I don't know. Give it a try if you want, but just be aware that you're going to need to check it and make sure it's going to work. I hope that helps. We'll talk to you later.